Hi everyone, this is meant to be a fairly comprehensive beginner's guide for playing Go in VF5 R.E.V.O. I've made the video with the assumption that you do understand the basics of the VF system and that you understand concepts like Nitaku. If you don't, stop the video, go check out Juicebox's video on the VF triangle, which I'll link below, and go check out the virtualfighter.com wiki. That will include all the system mechanics, just so you can get a general understanding of what I'm talking about before we actually do it. So first up, we're going to be doing a breakdown of the standard moves that Go has. So first up, we've got our 5P. This is your basic standing jab. It's plus 5 on block on hit, and it's plus 2 on block. It's pretty decent. It does have two follow-ups. One which is PP, which I don't like and we won't be using. The other is PKP. You can only do PK as well. That's also fine. So what we're going to do instead of us doing just, PP, and I'll explain the reasoning why in a second. We're going to be doing P, 6P. And the trick here is you'll notice on the input display I press the guard button. So after I do the P input, I hit guard to clear the input buffer and then hit 6P. That stops us, because if I just press P, 6P, we get the PP combo, which we don't want. We want to do P, guard cancel, 6P. That's really, really important. So the next move we're going to talk about is unerringly 6P. So this is our elbow class move. It's a 14 frame mid, and it leaves you plus 7 on counter hit. So this is how we're going to use what we're going to use to set up our Nitaku situations. So our 5P into 6P is our Nitaku setup, and so what that looks like if we do it on here. So on counter hit, we got our plus 7. That's our Nitaku situation. That's what we want to get to. So the next thing we're going to talk about is PK. So this is our 12 frame punish. It deals 30 damage. It's a natural combo. It's pretty good. It's the fastest move that Go has. P is the fastest move, and having the K fault means this is the fastest punish we can do, which is 12 frames. The next thing we're going to discuss is 4-6P. Now, 4-6P is your 14 frame normal hit launcher. It's a linear high, and it knocks down and gives you a guaranteed combo. So that's just what the normal launcher looks like. The follow-up combo looks like this. So you can see it on the input display there, but the combo is 4-6P, P, 4-6P plus K, P, 6P. It's a really, really good poke tool, and it's only -5 on block. So you'll lose your turn if they block it, but you won't be in the Nitaku. So it's pretty safe in that sense. And the last standard tool we're actually going to talk about is our 6K. So 6K is our knee class counter hit launcher. It's 17 frames and it leaves us plus 19 on counter hit. It also leads to a very big combo with a minimal damage of 100 against everyone but attacker. So in an Nitaku situation where we want our opponent to guess between throw and launcher, this is the launcher we're going to use. So the combo looks like this. And there's a bunch of optimal combos for different weight classes and different characters, but for the time being, let's use the basic combo. Now this has lost damage compared to what it was like in Final Showdown and the first version of Ultimate Showdown, but the combo is 6K, 3KP, P, 4-6P plus K, P, 6P. And that's going to be our go-to combo when we're launching people out of Nitaku. So next up we got our throws. So P plus G, so our neutral throw, it deals 40 damage. It's fine. It's not bad. We do have obviously our 6P plus G and our 4P plus G, and I'll show you them now. But for the most part, we're actually going to be ignoring these. And the reason for that is Go has half circular input throws, which do a lot higher damage. So as we can see here, if I do my 6P plus G, I get 50 damage. If I do my half circle 4P plus G, not only do I get a cool animation, but I get 75 damage. The same goes for our back throw. So our standard back throw deals 50, and our half circle back throw deals 65. So there's no reason to really not use these and just use the standard like 6P plus G throws, because we get more damage and it's not a difficult input. So again, when we've got our opponents in Nitaku situations where they're guessing between counter hit launcher and throw, these are the throws we're going to use. We're going to be using things like 4 circle 4P plus G. So next up, we're going to be talking about Go specific moves that are really key. So as a judoka, Go specialist moveset includes a lot of sabakis. So these allow you to reverse your opponent's offense into big damage combos and a 3-way throw mix-up with Tsukami. So the first one that we're going to look at, we're going to set our CPU to guard the first hit and then counterattack with a mid. And you can do this when you're practicing and learning how to use these inputs. So this is our 4P plus K plus G. It's Sabaki's linear single limb high and mid punches. It looks like this. Pretty good. Leaves us at +6, so our opponent's in Nitaku if we were to just do that. But it has a follow-up where if we press P plus G afterwards, we enter what's called Tsukami, which looks like this. So this is a 3-way throw mix-up. So we've got back, which you can see there. We also have neutral, and this guarantees our 4-6P combo from before, because it leaves us +15. So we just a little shove, leaves us +15, and then finally we've got our forward. So this deals 65 damage as well. Keep mixing these up because if you use the same one, people will start breaking it. But I really do enjoy the changes in this version to neutral. Neutral before was a dead option because if they broke any other direction, they would also break neutral. Whereas now we can use it as a real threat and start, because it has so much carry, we can bring people out with it really, really often on stages with no walls or low walls. But again, on walled stages, we can actually really push our opponent back to the walls. And wall damage for go is fucking massive, so it's really, really useful in that sense. So the other Sabaki we're going to look at is our low Sabaki, which looks like this. And you see we get a nice big damage combo afterwards. So our low Sabaki deflects linear and some half-circular single limb low punches and kicks and leaves us with really big frame advantage. But the problem is this frame advantage differs depending on range, but most of the time it will leave you with a minimum of +19, allowing you to punish them with the 1P plus K that we've got there. So I'll show you again what it looks like. And remember, these are hard reads. That's what we're doing with these Sabakis. So if you're sure your opponent's going to do a low punch, that's when we're going to use this Sabaki. However, if you're wrong, you are going to eat attacks to the face. If they instead do a mid rather than the low that you thought they would, you are going to eat damage. So it is a hard call out if you can condition your opponent to do what you want them to do. So our combo here that we're doing with our 1P plus K. 1P plus K, P, 6-6P plus K, 4-6P plus K, P, 6P. Really, really solid combo. That'll work on everyone except Taka, because obviously it's Taka and he does what he wants. The next one we are going to look at, and this one is a little bit annoying to do. So we're going to have to go into our advanced settings, and this is a good way for you to learn how to sort of manipulate how the CPU works. So this is our kick Sabaki. And the important thing about our kick Sabaki is that, so it's Sabaki's single limb mid kicks and knees. It guarantees us a combo afterwards. If your opponent doesn't press a button, it looks like this. It's a 4-6K, which is an attack of its own, and a normal hit is +3. It's pretty good, but it is very slow with 21 frames of execution. So what we're going to do to show you how to practice this is we're going to do a back throw, and we've set our computer to do a mid-rising kick. That allows us to actually do the Sabaki. Obviously some characters you can set them to do a mid and they will do a kick. Jackie won't, annoyingly. I don't really want to sit here and record him, getting him to do everything properly. So we're going to do our back throw, and then when we see the rising kick coming out, again, can mistime it. So we're doing quite consistently here. Because if you do it too early, it won't connect. Or if you do it too late, it won't connect. There, it will crush. There, it will land. So this is a really, really useful one because if your opponent puts you in attack, obviously you're going to be guessing between their throws and their mid launcher, which a lot of time will be a kick or a knee. So this will actually beat both the throw and the knee. If the character you're against has a standard launcher, which is a knee class linear launcher. Be careful because this does leave you -6 on block, so you do have to be careful to use it or you'll be in attack yourself. The last one we're going to look at, and I've got to set computer to do a throw after a successful block. So this is a throw Sabaki. This is just P plus K plus G. This is the most difficult Sabaki Go has. It does allow you to reverse their throws, so and puts us in Tsukami, where we get our three-way throw. But you have to input the command one frame either side of the single frame that your opponent's throw connects. So it is, a one-frame input effectively. I wouldn't recommend spending a lot of time on this until you really understand the game. The best place to practice it is setting your opponent to block, and then do it after the block. But we want to practice it at -10 because that's when we're throw punishable and we can't press a button instead. And that's what it looks like. Puts us into Tsukami. And you'll notice in the input display I do 4P plus K plus G because it's an option select. So at -10, if they were to do a mid instead of the throw, I would spec the mid as well. But for the time being, don't worry about that. It's not massively fucking important. Okay, so now we know the moves. We know what they do. We know what our key moves are. So we need to focus on what our actual game plan is. So one of the most important bits of the game plan is enforcing our attack. We're going to do that with the P guard cancel 6P we did before. This puts the opponent in an attack. They then have to guess if I'm going to throw or if I'm going to do a launcher. So we know again that our launcher is our nice 6K, which looks like this. So our opponent has to guess between eating 100 damage or realistically eating 75 damage from our forward throw. Mind, if they do try and evade the 6K and you do catch them with the throw, they can still buff through a throw escape, so it's not guaranteed you're going to get the damage. But for all intents and purposes, this P, 6P, that's the tool that we're going to use to enforce on attack and make them guess. Now, regardless of the actual outcome of this, we do learn a lot about our opponent from this interaction. So if they block the 6P, we know that they're going to stand block after standing P, so we just do P and then throw them, because fuck them, they're not doing anything. If they try and do 2P, and they're a character who's got a 11 frame 2P, which is really, really fucking annoying, I'll show you what to do now. So we do our P, and against other characters, we will get caught by a 2P, so we're going to do 9P plus K instead, so this is our low crush, and we do get the guaranteed shoulder on the ground as well. So that's 9P plus K, and then 3P plus K. It's a really good tool to have, so if you condition your opponents to do 2P after every time you do standing P, do 9P plus K instead. You'll catch them out. I know we've talked a lot about frames so far, and some people live and die by frames, so the next bit's a bit more feel-based for those of you out there who sort of work in that way. So we're going to set ourselves to just normal hit for the time being, and we're going to look at our ranges. So at range 0 here, we want to be, doing our P, 6P. The other tool that we're going to throw out a lot is going to be our 4-6P, which gives us the nice combo. That's our close range tools. Our more mid distances like this, we're going to use tools like 4P plus K, which gives us a nice launcher. So again, the input for this is 4P plus K, P, 6P plus K, 3PP is the standard one against everyone. You can do 4-6P plus K is the ender, but you won't catch Jeffrey and Wolf depending on stance, and that's a lot of silly bollocks that you don't want to focus on this early. So you want to focus on doing 4P plus K, P, 6P plus K, 3PP. 6 to 9 damage, that's a good mid option. Another good mid option is going to be 4K. And if you hit P plus G at the right time when it connects, you get this throw animation which does extra damage. The other good option is going to be 5K, especially if your opponent backdashes. This is going to crumple them, and you're going to be able to go get a combo from that. It's really nice. A long distance is Ghost Rolls, because in the previous game, we had our 3KP, which was really good for covering long distances, and it was only -10 on block, so we could then sit back if the throw punish that was coming our way. Now it's -13, and this is the only bit I was really sad about with the update, to be honest. So I wouldn't really recommend using this to close the distance. And as you saw before, depending on distance, we can catch them with the 3K, and they end up slightly out of range for the P follow-up that comes after. This isn't very good for us. So instead, we're going to look at using 3P, which is this. It dashes up really nicely and allows us to get a combo. It covers a decent amount of ground, and it's only -10 on block. And it's a mid launcher, so we get a combo out of it. Absolutely perfect. You can use the 4-6P plus K string, which is this, to close distance. But as you can see, it's very slow and it's interruptible, and we don't want that. when we're at range, we want to get in as quick as possible and start enforcing our game plan at 0 range, because this is VF. It's not a ranged game. You'll see a lot of people come over from things like Tekken, they're trying to play a ranged game, doing lots of like Korean backdash. The shit's not really strong in VF. You want to be at range 0, both players do, because everyone's a grappler, everyone has strong throws, everyone has big launches at this range. It's more about reactions per second and, you know, overloading your opponent's mental stack than it is playing, you know, a range game where I'm throwing fucking fireballs. But that's what you want to do at the sort of different ranges in the game. Okay, so that's a very simple breakdown of Go's kit and what to do in different situations. If you do want more in-depth tutorials on specific aspects of his kit, you can either request it from me or you can go over to VFDC. There's lots of wiki guides to go. I think Go has the most wiki guides on the site. So I've written 2 of them. So I wrote the one for punishment, specific frame advantages, and I wrote one for Go's Okuzeme options. They're a bit more complex than I wanted to get into here, especially because I don't want to be spouting off frames and scaring the fuck out of people. But there's also a ton of guides written by a Japanese player called MIDI, and they are the best. They're how I learned to play the characters. There's separate guides on sabakis, ring outs, wall combos. I've also got a video on this channel which includes some stuff on wall combos for beginners, so if you do want to dive into that, those are there and ready. If you do have other questions, you can just ask them in the comments, message me on Blue Sky, or catch me in the Discord, which I'll post below. So that's the unofficial Virtua Fighter Discord that we've been using for quite a few years now. It's very active, and there's lots of high-level players in there to ask questions of. So even if you're not learning Go, or if I'm not there at the time, someone else will be able to answer your question. But yeah, thanks to everyone for watching. Thanks to MIDI for the amazing guides which helped me learn the character, and thank you to Mike for managing VFTC. It's really the best resource anyone could ask for playing VF. But yeah, till next time, catch you all later.